Hello out there to everyone in the verse. Gabby here with my weekly show where I do my best to offer up advice and solutions to the many interpersonal problems that any one of us might face, whether that be tackling relationship difficulties or just being an ear for someone in need. Tonight we have a couple of interesting stories I want to share, and of course a Dear Gabby update as well. Remember that if you have your own difficulty you would like to share, please mail in your concern or you can post it in the comments below and I will give my very best advice to you if chosen. So be sure to let me know your troubles for your own chance at a problem-solving take from the galactically known Gabby. Good afternoon, Trumbull. With all of the hoopla going on across Stanton, I've got to ask, did you get a golden ticket?
After hours of searching, I was only able to find a silver one, and then some of my new friends told me it was worthless, so I gave it to one of them.
Wait, Trumbull, you mean you found a platinum ticket?
No, a silver one.
Trumbull, there were no silver tickets, only gold and platinum, with platinum being the best that gave you the ship for free. It doesn't look like these new people you're hanging out with are truly your friends. They just cheated you out of a completely free ship.
Well, that is lower than a space roach, but I guess they needed it more than me. I'm not much of a pilot anyway, so it was probably wasted on me.
Well, Trumbull, you're a better person than I am, because Gabby would have had to stab a mother for cheating me out of a ship. And had it been an origin ship, well, let's just say Gabby would have been spending some time in Klesher. Speaking of Klesher, tonight's sponsor is none other than... No, I'm kidding. It's just Whammers. Trumbull, roll the thing. Now I know you listeners are ready for Gabby to get into some problem solving, but first I gotta mention my dinner last night at Whammers. I was on my way to an important meeting when hunger struck like a lightning storm on Genesis 2. Lucky for me, there was a Whammers close by, and with so many locations spread around Stanton, chances are there's one close to you. Now, Gabby is not a big eater, so the 2 veggie burger combo was a bit much. But don't worry, because Whammers has you covered with their a la carte style ordering as well. So be sure to cave into your craving and drop on by Whammers, where it's always a good time. And for convenience sake, you can order ahead with their MobiGlass app to save even more time. Here, Trumbull, try these squash sticks. They're a delight.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Our first writer wants to discuss sibling relationships, so let's get to it. Dear Gabby in Space, I was recently involved in a slight accident that, while it was life-threatening, I was not in any immediate danger and everything turned out all right in the end. But it got me to thinking about my brother who lives in Hurston. He is a maintenance worker and I work in upper management, and for almost 20 years now, we have not spoken. We grew apart and our opinions and stubbornness kept us from reconciling. My question to you, Gabby, is how does one go about trying to mend something that has become so broken? At this point, we have been away from one another longer than we were together as brothers. Neither of us know each other anymore. I feel like I have changed, but what if he hasn't? What if he doesn't want to talk to me? I'm not sure I can take that kind of rejection, but it has really been bothering me, so much so that I have dreams about him turning his back on me and refusing to speak to me. I appreciate your help if you choose my letter for reading. Signed, Brother May I. Dear Brother May I applaud your early nod toward reconciling with your brother. Sibling relationships can be a tough thing to mend, and I will caution you that it will probably not be easy. But many siblings have been able to patch things up with the passage of time and go on to make up for lost time and have a fruitful relationship into their final years. Of course, there can be some instances where reconciliation is not possible. You have not given the causes for the relationship's demise, so I cannot truly suggest how to rekindle that relationship, but I want to stress how important it is to give it a try, even though you fear rejection. Start off slow by possibly writing to him if you have his contact info. Begin with how you're feeling and be open and honest with him. If you feel that you need to apologize, do not make him read through the majority of your letter before getting to it, but mention it early. If you are the one feeling the need for an apology, then do not mention it because oftentimes that can be what keeps it from working. And then ask yourself, do you really require your brother to apologize for you to proceed with a relationship? Is that more important to you than to reconnect? Oftentimes, there's some simple thing that has been ratcheted up to seem like it's needed in order for the relationship to be rebuilt, whether it be an apology or declaration of being right. But in the end, it simply is not worth losing someone over. If you need further assistance, please provide more details such as why the rift was started, and we can go from there. If you think you can handle everything on your own, then let us know how your first contact went, and we look forward to hearing how it goes. Thanks for writing, and good luck to you. Our second writer is someone who has found comfort in getting to know themselves, and they write, Dear Gabby in Space. I was recently placed on a scientific station out in the middle of nowhere after a career change where I went from the hustle of working in a lab in the private sector. I have to say that I was fearful of being on a desolate station with barely any contact from others, but it has been nice. I'm left alone with my thoughts and the work, and that seems to be all that I need. No more office drama or politics, and being alone with myself has allowed me to think about my mental health and what is important. I just wanted to reach out to tell your viewers and listeners that sometimes slowing things down can truly help your mental and physical well-being. Working alone like this might not be for everyone, but for me, it has been life-changing. Thanks for listening. Signed, Dan at Peace. Dear Dan at Peace, your advice stretches across many different aspects of helping others, not just in the change of scenery, but in shuffling your life's priorities. I recently read an article, and I hope the author forgives me because the name is eluding me at the moment, but they suggested to embrace life, not just when things are chaotic or when things go bad, such as when someone will reevaluate their life after a close death, but on a daily basis. Wake up every day and try to do one thing, just one, that you've never done in your life. It could be doing something as simple as taking your lunch outside under a tree, or even looking up some new recipe to try out. Adding something new into your life can create new feelings and memories, and sometimes it can be a large life-changing event, like leaving the hustle behind to do something that is more isolating. Then again, in a year or more, you might want to re-emerge yourself into the workplace with others, but you will probably approach it from a different angle, and so your experience will be different. The important thing here is to try new things. If life feels dull, then add a new ingredient. Thank you so much for bringing up this topic, as even I can sometimes get into the same old routine and forget to appreciate the day. Take care. It is now time for a Dear Gabby update, and this week's update comes to us from Broken Hull, who was someone not happy with a medical org who had rescued them and whose bitterness had given them a tough outlook on life and rescuers in general. Let's see where their mental state is at now since our show and some time to reflect. They write, Dear Gabby in Space. After listening to your show and even the other person who was on the show after me, I have a slightly different outlook on medical rescuers, but I'm still angry. I can definitely appreciate that someone can be saved, especially a parent whose child would have been orphaned without that rescue. But shouldn't there be circumstances where an injury is just too much to come back from? With medical technology able to do some amazing things, especially in stabilizing a patient, still not every injury is truly treatable. In my case, even with bionic limbs, I am not of much use due to neural rejections and connectivity issues. Physical therapy is just not working, and I find myself on the floor more often than not. Every fall sets me back and my mind resets. I prefer at times to just stay on the floor. I do want to move past my anger, but I simply don't know how. And no one has entered my life, so your advice about me being some sort of force for change has not happened, and I doubt it ever will. That's all I have to say. Well, Broken Hull, where you may not see progress, I most certainly do. You did not mention any sort of ambivalence toward your rescuers, so that is a positive step. I do want to ask if you are attending any support groups at your healthcare facility, because you are not alone, and sharing your story with a group can bring about that change I was referring to. Sitting within a group and expressing your frustrations can be a start to understanding what others are going through, just as you hearing that story about the mother who was rescued helped change your mind about rescuers. I believe you have so much to give, and things may never go back to being as they were, but once again, I strongly believe a new way of life is in your future, and I would ask that you seek out that group and share yourself with them. In the meantime, give your body more time to heal, because it's not unheard of to see neural progress happen and those limbs gain more mobility. I know it's hard to hear to give it more time, but with you attending a group, your time might just feel lessened, as it can when we invite others into our lives and share the load. Please keep reaching out to us here, and I thank you for writing in. That is all for this week's show. Tune in next week, and until then, I hope you all stay safe out there in the verse. Me and Trumbull wish you all well. Thank you for watching. Say goodnight, Trumbull.
Good night, Trumbull.